Good evening. This is CTV News for November 13th. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Patricia Vallone. Thank you for joining us. Well, the eyes of the nation are on Capitol Hill today as the first public hearing on the impeachment inquiry of the president gets underway. Bill Taylor, the top U.S. diplomat in Ukraine, and Deputy Assistant Secretary of State George Kent testified before the House Intelligence Committee. Democrats and Republicans questioned them on issues related to the White House decision to withhold military aid from Ukraine.
Mr. Kent, that vital military assistance that was not the only thing that President Trump was withholding from Ukraine. What else was contingent on Ukraine initiating these investigations?
Well, as we've talked earlier today, the possibility of a White House meeting was being held contingent to an announcement.
To withhold that assistance for no good reason other than help with the political campaign made no sense. It was counterproductive to all of what we had been trying to do.
Would a White House meeting for President Zelensky boost his legitimacy as a new president in Ukraine?
It would primarily boost his leverage to negotiate with Vladimir Putin about the Russian occupation of 7% of Ukrainian territory.
And the hearings continue on Friday with former ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yanovich.
Well, hundreds of protesters gathered in Annapolis for a call to action rally. This was the scene outside the House office building on Bladen Street. Stakeholders from the state's 4 historically black colleges and universities are demanding that the governor and lawmakers settle a 13-year-old lawsuit seeking fair funding for the HBCUs. Governor Larry Hogan has offered $200 million to be divided by the schools over the next 10 years, but the protesters say that's not enough.
I think it's been going on for a long time. The judge has ruled that HBCUs in the state of Maryland definitely should be funded at a higher rate. We've been underfunded for so long, and we just want to have the playing field even to all the other schools that's in the state of Maryland.
Well, this is important as we want to send a strong message to the governor and to the nation, for that matter, that we will not accept a red line of $200 million, take it or leave it, to settle this HBCU lawsuit. This has been going on now for a decade and a half. We know that the states have come back and said that this lawsuit should be settled close to $1 billion to $2 billion. And for the governor now to say, take $200 million, take it or leave it, I think is totally unacceptable.
Barnes says there will be 100 days of action events and says the Black Caucus will introduce legislation in the upcoming session. An overnight fire in Laurel forces a family out of its home. The fire broke out just after 2 this morning at this home on the 15700 block of Sherwood Avenue in Laurel. Investigators say 3 adults and 1 child made it out of the home without injury. A firefighter did suffer what's being called a sudden illness, but was taken to the hospital for observation and is fine.
More than 100 local schools could be affected by an expected visit late this afternoon by Turkish President Recep Erdogan. The event at the Turkish American Community Center in Lanham will cause the closure of Good Luck Road between Elvis Lane and 97th Avenue from 3 to 7 p.m. The closure could impact buses originating from Duval High School and Robert Goddard Montessori School, as well as dozens of others around the area. Erdogan and his wife met earlier today with President Trump and the First Lady, a month after Trump withdrew U.S. troops from northern Syria, allowing a Turkish assault on Kurdish forces there.